everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We are back. No daily, just kidding. Daily challenge time. I know you've been waiting for it. It's been 2 days for me since the last daily. Oh my god, it's a Mega Satan run. Now that is a surprise. Especially after our last daily, which was also our first daily. Weirdly enough, I guess that's the only time we can say that. Where we only got to go to Boss Rush. This time, we have Mega Satan access by default. And I will judge you if instead of default, you say default. I'm sorry to tell you. It's one of those things I've learned from being on Twitch for as long as I have. If you pronounce the words differently than I do, you're wrong. I'm sorry to tell. I used to take a stand. I used to ameliorate. Is that the word I'm looking for? Hold up. We're doing a little bit of SAT prep work today. Because I should be studying for my programming exam. Ameliorate. Make something better. Hey, yeah, that's right. I think we've actually, if you're having deja vu, me too. Because I believe that I actually looked this up in an earlier Isaac episode. It's one of those words. I'll tell you, so you read a word when you're in 6th grade. You look it up in a paper dictionary. 15 of which reside in your middle school classroom for absolutely no reason. What a good use of taxpayer dollars. And it sticks in your brain forever. Much like the cast of the 2004 film I Heart Huckabees. Naomi Watts, Jude Law, Jason Schwartzman, Mark Wahlberg, Lily Tomlin, Dustin Hoffman. A very, very tall man who used to be a professional basketball player, I think, but anyway, also Isabelle Huppert. Or Huppert. I only know her because of her English movies, not her French movies. Gimpy. Interesting. Maybe with the razor we can make something happen here. We're taking it slow for now. As an adult, you learn a word, you go, I don't know if that one's going to be committed to memory. You know, it's like looking at the volcanic lava fields of Iceland. When the lava was warm, it could be shaped. It went over top of previously existing topography, and then, you know, it made some unique features. But then once it cooled down, that's just rock, baby. You're not putting any extra words into that rock. Where was I going with this? Anyway, mostly just spitballing, getting the verbal engine spinning up. I got no reason to believe this run should be any more difficult than your average. In fact, Gimpy early is really, really nice. And that was just an incredible stroke of luck that might actually move us up a couple of positions. So, your boy is trying to be intelligent here. We got a little bit of a terrible... Oh, no. No, actually, that's fine. Because now with Dead Bird, life's actually a lot easier, I think, against these guys. And all we're going to do is try to stay away from that brimstone shot, and I'm assuming that the bird is actually going to do most of the work. Or should I say, don't you know and haven't you heard that the bird is the word? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I think a lot of people are going to die on floor 1. No immediate DPS upgrade combined with the haunt. Maybe like, I don't know if I'd say the toughest first floor boss, but you know, he's up there. I think it's going to lead to some situations. I mean, you could easily see it for yourself. You know, we take one bit of bad damage, or we use the razor blade one time, perhaps more likely, trying to get a little hubris involved. Things can get rough there. Dad's lost coin takes us to a luck upgrade and a range upgrade, but still not in a position to use the razor. And certainly no keys. I was unable... Ooh, this is touchy. I was unable to do yesterday's daily. American Thanksgiving, for whatever reason, is on a Thursday, but, you know, my in-laws, they're very, not ameliorating, it's not the word I'm looking for here. See, I told you it doesn't stick in the brain. They're accommodating people is a good word. So they were like, hey, can you come down for Thanksgiving on Thursday? They live like 2.5 hours away. And we were like, no, absolutely not. I mean, like, I understand that if you're from America, you might have the position that American holidays are just the default and everything else is some kind of weird variant. Don't hate it if you know it to be true in your heart of hearts. That's not the case. I can't take a random Thursday off from my job to celebrate your holiday. I'm not going to be principled about it, but hey, we were like, okay, so like I know that it isn't technically Thanksgiving as arbitrarily decided in the calendar, but like we can make it down on Saturday. And they were like, you know what, Saturday's good. So we drove down there, had a delicious meal of prime rib. I don't know, what's the salad, and this is a real question. You know, some salads are like, you know, loose lettuce or spinach leaves. And then there's like a dressing on top of it and some shredded vegetables. What's the one that's like a spear of lettuce? And then it had like blue cheese on top of it and an appropriate dressing. You know the one I'm not talking about a salad that's like a pile of loosely arranged papers. I'm talking about one that's like a 3D printed dagger. Go look it, type that exact query into Google. And it will be like, it's a Cobb salad. It's not a Cobb salad. It didn't have bacon or a hard-boiled egg in it. I'm just saying. So that's why I couldn't do the daily yesterday. We ended up... I mean, it was a busy day, to be honest. And it really... I think I had the exact same sort of anecdote last year when we went there for Thanksgiving. If you have young kids, good God. Are you not just tired all the time? I asked that to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, and they were like, you get used to it. Plus, you know, they were saying their kids are well-behaved. I'm not going to use the razor blade here. I'm still a little spooked, but we do need to speed up if we want to do boss rush. They were like, our kids are actually well-behaved. That's just like all kids are, most kids at least, they're pretty energetic, especially when they're young. My nieces are 4 and 7. Yeah, 4 and 7. Years ago, we hold these truths to be self-evident. I don't know the Gettysburg Address, okay? We don't learn it in our schools. I guess if you took AP US History, you would. But I'm not training for the teen tournament of Jeopardy. I checked. I'm ineligible as a 29-year-old man. Like, we drove. We didn't get there super early. We left Vancouver at, like, 1. We got to, the greater Seattle area like 3:30, but then, give me a moment. Oh, I hate it. The Bonehearts wouldn't have saved us though. I'm going full angel deal. Let's apply a unique form of. Never mind. We totally would have been able to take Satanic Bible. I forgot that Boneheart item, and this is just a lapse in knowledge, to be honest. But I forgot the Boneheart item there actually gives you 1 red heart. So we could have been in a Whore of Babylon state with Satanic Bible. That's a major mistake, especially when it comes to a daily where we really want to be at that boss rush within 20 minutes. So I'm gonna start to kick it into gear a little bit here because we have to. We still want to go to item room and shop without a doubt. Just don't lose the Boneheart. Oh, item room and shop. Mom's contact. Well worth the time spent to get here, by the way. Hopefully our angel deal reveals some unique paths to us, because this is, otherwise, we're probably going to be a little too slow to be impressive. Sure, I'll take battery, baby, because I don't know what else to do, and I will protect our Boneheart, and then I will look for something. I know we're losing value. We're losing points by doing this. I will take a 3-cent key. I will say, you know what, Fanny Pack, I think with Razor Blade, it was kind of a last resort, which is why I gambled on other stuff first, but I was willing to give it a shot. Okay, very important. We kick it into gear a little bit here. With the Spirit Heart, we actually could go... Oh, you know what? There's probably a library back here. We could probably go full Whore of Babylon. Let's just... Oh, it's a double key room. Hold on. I should be able to get this. This is way too slow. And then we will check our double key room. This is comical now, but like, I'm still for it. I'm living for this, as the children like to say. You know, it's a tough call. If you'll give me a moment here. You know what? No. I don't think I'm going to reroll this whole run. I think I'm going to walk in and reroll this whole run. Okay. We now have Epic Fetus, which is obviously incredible. Substantially better than anything else we could have had going on. We have Pyromaniac. that was not worth our time investment there. But we're 3 minutes behind schedule now, a comical degree. But somehow my slowness has led to a situation in which we have one of the most powerful items in the game. Now we're real weak on damage, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. Anyway, I'll continue my anecdote here. People are like, if you don't get the boss rush, who cares? And I'm like, I care. Just me. You think these videos are about you? Bloody Lust, extremely high quality item, even with you know, our existing decent damage. So I'm hoping, and I'm actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being the case. Hello. I'm hoping that despite our slowness, or perhaps even because of our slowness, we're gonna go faster here. Now that we've actually gotten, I mean, Epic Fetus is gonna... The real question is it gonna speed up every floor by 45 seconds? And I think the answer is, like, absolutely. That'll make up for lost time. Might take a second to look like it, but it will. Anyway, you know, we get there mid-afternoon, roughly. We don't eat dinner until 7. I had, like, 3.5 hours. You don't understand what it's like, or maybe you do, and I'm presumptuous. Kate's parents, Korean. Kate's sister and Kate, they were born in Korea. Kate's brother-in-law, and by extension, my brother-in-law, Korean. Everybody, there's like 7 people at this family gathering. Everybody, the kids speak Korean. They also speak English. I mean, so does everybody, but everybody's speaking in their native tongue. I don't speak Korean fluently. I catch little words and phrases here and there. Ryan, Sambegwan, Babo, etc., etc. It means I'm an idiot that's worth about 40 cents. And Hwajang Shilodieo, Juseo. Where's the bathroom, please? Where was I? Oh, you idiot. Where was I going with this? Oh, what I was gonna say is, Kate lucks out. And it's not like it's, you know, I love my nieces, but eventually, you know, I got a pretty big brain. I'm a sophisticate, let's put it that way. And I can only play so much tag before I'm like, well, now I'm only doing it for the benefit of the children. What am I getting out of this tag experience? So I end up being like a free agent at these dinners, or these functions where we go and, you know, it might take... I shouldn't describe it as taking this length of time. It's a little... I mean, they slaved over a hot stove all day for this, and all we did was drive in our car and, you know, listen to Shugo Tokumaru's amazing 2006 album, Exit. Wait, that's not 2006. I'm beginning to out myself as a fool. Anyway, so I'm doing nothing. Everybody else is speaking Korean. They're laughing, having a good time. I'm pretending to listen out of politeness. And when everybody laughs, I laugh. And then I think to myself, is it weirder to laugh when they laugh, even though they know that I don't know what they're saying? Or is it weirder when everybody laughs to just stand here stone-faced? I spend a decent chunk of time just looking at my phone. Sometimes they'll translate me in. They'll have a conversation in Korean, and then Kate or Kate's sister will be like, they're talking about, you know, fireworks. And I'm like, ah! And then that's the reaction. Anyway, so I end up not being clearly a part of the conversation. As a result, the kids are like, Uncle Ryan, play tag. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay. So I played tag with these kids for like, you know, hours and hours. I'm begging, like they pulled the prime rib out of the oven. I'm not even gonna get into the discussion of, is that what you eat on Thanksgiving? I don't care. It was free prime rib. It was delicious. You know, where am I going with this? I don't remember. Anyway, we're now still behind schedule, but not quite as bad. We're gonna move on. I'm just saying I'm exhausted. You know, they pulled the prime rib out of the oven. They're like, it's gotta rest for 15 minutes. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I gotta rest for 15 minutes. Please serve dinner. So I always, I think I said this last year as well, like, I leave these dinners, and I'm always like, maybe next year, for kids. It's not on the radar yet. It's always, and I will say, you know, it's nice. You know, there's something about, you know, the childlike wonder. See, the thing is, like, I experienced childlike wonder a lot through Josh, but when the childlike wonder is coming from someone who's actually a child, it's less embarrassing and more, you know, pure. Whereas when Josh has what I would describe as childlike wonder, I go, "You're 30 years old, man." I don't know, like childlike wonder, it's not a sin, but I don't know if it's a virtue at this point. Give me some cynical opinions, dude. Like, that's welcome to adulthood. At least my model of adulthood, which is mostly based on sarcastic media produced in the mid-2000s. Regardless, it is exhausting. And that's why, like, I take, like, a bit of a selfless approach. I'm a pretty good guy, if I dare say so myself. Oh, you son of a gun. You know, like, I recognize that my role as the uncle is to go to this event and give the parents like 3 or 4 hours of not having to micromanage their kids. Instead, they're like, the fun uncle, which is not what I would describe myself as, but kind of a role I've just inherited by default. They're like, the fun uncle's got him, and I'm like, yeah, dude, it's so simple. As a teacher, I was not well liked by my younger classmates. You know why? I was all business. Like 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, they don't understand all business. You know, that's the cursed role you get put in as the teacher. But now that I'm not teaching them anything, they're like, you know, hey, let's play tag. And then when I go to tag them, they're like, I'm on timeout, you can't tag me. And I can actually argue with them and just play it up as a joke instead of being like, the rules of this game don't make sense, you get an F. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but anyway. So that's why I didn't do the daily yesterday. Mom didn't realize that, you know, I had to keep an aggregate of my daily ledger so you could be notified. Oh, thank God then, by the way, that we don't have to do the dailies in a row anymore. I didn't even consider that. Thank you, Nicholas Game Development Corporation, for making that the case. By the way, why not take Dead Sea Scrolls? A couple of reasons. One is Dead Sea Scrolls sucks. Another one is we lose points for taking it. So I am, and you're probably noticing this for yourself, your boy, which is me, is really ramping it into gear here. Worried that we will not be able to make boss rush. We're going to do a little bit of skipping. Do we have good bombs of any sort? No. Easy, easy. We would really, really, really like to make boss rush. That's the only thing on my agenda for the temporary time being. And then, you know what, dude, I've said this a few times, but November, December is like, it's an aggressive holiday corridor. I brought it up a few times, but, I mean, we won't take the pencil because it literally does nothing for us, I think, but, you know, starting from, like, my birthday or American Thanksgiving, depending on your choices, where you choose to live or where you happen to live, you know, it's Thanksgiving, my birthday, Christmas, New Year's, Kate's birthday, Valentine's Day, Kate's mom's birthday, my mom's birthday, our anniversary. There's like a staggering amount, a density of holidays that take place within like a 2 to 3 month period. But now it's just getting absurd. Both of our nieces were born in that exact same corridor, like middle of November, middle of December. Not of the same year, of course. Have some sympathy for their poor mother. Dude, what are we gonna do on this one? I certainly am starting to think boss rush is out of the question. We're gonna need like a teleport card or something to swing it. But now I'm like, I mean, again, oh, my life is so full of rich familial relationships. It's not really what I'm trying to get across here, okay? I'm just saying. So it's like every week, no! Is like, why did I not lose Deal with the Devil precedent for losing a whole bone heart? It's a dream come true. I'm just saying. You know, it's a lot of gifts to be buying in a very short time frame. It's the price I pay for having been an only child my whole life. I got used to, like, you know, from the ages of like 8 to 12, not having to give my parents anything because they were like, don't buy us Christmas presents, you're just using our money. You know what? Let's get weird with it. Okay, amazing. And then now, you know, me and my wife have existed in our own little, I don't want to say like secluded bubble, but you know, our in-laws lived in what's technically a different country. You know, we have to go through a border check to get to, it always feels so weird, and I understand, I'm not arguing against the need for like there to be a border. You know, you think it's keeping us out. It's keeping y'all in. Where was I going with this? Let me go, please. Thank you. But it's bizarre. If you've never experienced it, you drive, you know, a couple of hours. Well, really from Vancouver, you drive like an hour. And then there's a dude or a lady in a box. And they go, hey, why do you want to drive further south? And you're like, our in-laws are making us dinner. And they go, really? A likely story. And they ask you these like inane questions that when you answer honestly makes you seem like you're lying. Like, why are they having Thanksgiving on a Saturday when Thanksgiving's on a Thursday? And you gotta be like, well, they moved it because I couldn't get off work. And, you know, it's a whole, what do you do for work? I make videos of the Binding of Isaac. Yeah, right, you don't look like Northernlion to me. Well, it's been a hard few years, you know, so. I am as God made me, sir. Actually, to be fair, it's the juxtaposition of like wanting to just go to this innocuous thing like a family dinner and basically going through like the TSA. A minor version of the TSA. But hey, you know, the border's there for a reason, I suppose. I've resigned myself to the fact that as a result of our slow second floor, should say, we're not going to be able to make boss rush. That's okay. I mean, re-rolling into Epic Fetus is a win in and of itself, but we are definitely not going to have the chance to be in like a top tier rank today. Unless maybe the non-reroll path is so bad that there might have been an opportunity for it. Now, I will say, can we undefined ourselves into the boss rush? I'm thinking of Teleport 2.0. Undefined, ever since its nerf, it's just a teleport, right? What's the dream with it? Because Teleport 2.0 takes you, oh, no, okay. Undefined takes you to a secret, or sorry, a special room you've not been to so far. Item room, secret room, second secret room. And I don't know if it can go Devil Deal, Error Room, Boss Rush, but that's what we're hoping for, obviously. Teleport 2.0 takes you to the closest room you've never been to before, which is how you're able to use that to finesse yourself into deals with the devil. Item rooms, error rooms, etc., etc. So we're really just taking as many stabs with undefined as we can. Doesn't even matter if we pop it early or later. Okay, it does now, but in fact, now we're super screwed unless we can teleport out. I took a real stab. Go ahead and hit me. Give me a battery charge, please. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen yet. Not gonna happen. Well, I am extremely dumb. I took a stab at getting boss rush. Instead, we got the error room, and we'll cost ourselves like 6 floors. Your boy, which is me, has decided I no longer care at all about our score on this run. Just care about having a good time. And here's a thought experiment for you, okay? So I'm not complaining. Again, it was nice. We got a free dinner that was delicious. We got to spend time with our in-laws. You know, it's our family. But the event was a chore for both of us. Now, chores are not bad. Chores, especially if you're a younger person, I have this opinion. The idea of something as a chore is a negative without a doubt. Vacuuming, yuck. Doing the dishes, ugh. But there's a value in the chore. Once you vacuum, you got a clean floor. Once you do the dishes, you got clean plates and a clean sink, probably. Okay, I guess we'll be leaving. Never mind, we're back. It's the only time I'm unhappy to see the error rooms, to be honest. And I used to some extent score hunt these dailies, dude. I'm the gray beard, or at least the gray in his beard Isaac player right now, who's just like, dude, I'm having fun on the dailies. We got a weird Rubik's Cube, baby, or whatever the heck is going on there. That's not a Rubik's Cube. I don't know what that is. Probably a Zardos reference. I don't know. What was I saying? It's a real thought experiment, though. I was thinking, like, you know, we got a pretty equitable relationship going on here. We drive down to them. They make the meal. Which one? Are you a driver or are you a cooker? Personally, I think we have the better position. Let me explain. We probably drove for about 5 hours yesterday, like 2.5 there, 2 back, roughly. I know that's not 5 hours. I'm building in border weights, and we had to get gas, and, you know, I didn't realize this was an audit. My mistake. Straw man. Where was I going? So I think probably when it comes to time, who invested more? I would still say it's possible our in-laws invested more time. You know, they gotta buy the food in advance. Of course, there's a monetary cost associated with that to begin with. And then on top of that, they gotta cook. Now, how long does it take to roast a huge prime rib for 7 people while also having leftovers? I honestly don't know. But the thing is, even if it takes 2 hours, it doesn't take you 2 hours. It takes the oven 2 hours. It takes you, 15 minutes to prepare it, put it in, and monitor it. So I'm not going to give you the full credit for the 2 hours. It doesn't make sense given the division of labor there. The whole time I was driving counts. But still, you get other advantages. When you're the person that arrives for the event, you get to choose when you show up, and you get to choose when you leave. That's something I value quite highly. When you're the host for an event, you don't get to choose when people show up. You tell them, show up at 2:30. Some people are like, I didn't have anything else to do, so I show up at 1. Some people are like, oh yeah, sorry, I slept in, and they show up at, 5. You got to be ready like a half hour before you tell people to be there. And who knows, you might be entertaining guests way longer than you expect, depending on how much Chardonnay somebody's had. Once you give Aunt Jessie her Chardonnay, she can't shut up about like her ex-boyfriend who now plays third-string quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You get the idea. I'm just trying to think. Is there any way... How could we conceive... The only way I can see us getting more points here, and this is sadly possibly the right way to do things, because we don't have Polaroid or negative, is to maybe fight Delirium. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it here. As of right now, we do have a 100% chance of a deal with the Devil and Angel. Who knows what could happen. We kind of, we took the road less traveled on this run, and we learned a very valuable lesson about the road less traveled, which is that sometimes it's less traveled for a reason. No! No! I walked into it! Oh well. What a strange run. Dude, I don't want to fight Delirium on this run. Of course it's Algis. Get me out of here. I can't even go up anymore. What the heck happened there? I guess we maybe would have just had the negative when we beat the boss. I have no idea. Regardless. Hold on a moment. Google's issued an update. I gotta check on some stuff. Always does this like, when was the last, like, did you sign in? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Okay. When your whole life relies around Google services, you pretty much got to check that every time it pops up. Where was I going with this? I know I've said that like 20 times over this episode. Also a little tired, to be honest. And I'll explain why as we get closer to the end of this episode. What we're trying to do is... what we're trying to do is get as many teleport charges as possible, and the idea is we could possibly teleport to the error room, which would take us down to the Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Speaking of which, the reason I'm tired is because I was up all night fornicating with your mom. Just joking. Google DeepMind. Don't. If you ban me, I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway. So I think, personally, I prefer the role of the hostee instead of the host. Even if you have a little bit more upfront time investment, the freedom to choose when you leave, that's worth a lot. It's worth a lot to me, at least. Some people naturally have a host's sort of proclivities. I'm not one of those people. Help. I'm very good at showing up. You know, they say, like, you know, success is 50% or 90%. It depends what kind of self-help book you're reading. But people say, like, success is X% showing up. I have never had a problem with that level. I show up on time. Thank you, infamy. It's the other 10 to 50% infamy that sometimes has been an issue. You know what? Let's try Blank Rune. Just see if it's Algiz, maybe. It's Bear or Kano. I can show up, hit you with a couple of jokes, and then leave and be like, all right, that's my time. I also like my nieces are now getting old enough that they sort of... okay, you know what? Free exit here. They're now getting old enough that they don't really... I mean, I wouldn't say that they understand the nuance of my humor. You know, I run a little bit of an older demographic, typically. I don't know if you know, I'm fairly popular on Twitch.tv, where my average viewer is roughly at least in the double digits of ages. More like the triple digits. Hey, that's rude. But, you know, like last time we went there, they were 6. We're actually going to be able to fight Mega Satan. What a dream come true. They were 6 and 4. 6 and 3, sorry. And I don't know if you've ever, you know, talked to a 3-year-old. They don't have a whole lot of understanding. Like, their brain's getting there. There's no question about it. It's not like my niece is dumb. She's just, you know, she was 3. So you'd be like, hey, what do you think of Brexit? And she's like, Brexit? Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, that, you're telling me, lady. What were they thinking? Anyway, what were they thinking when they almost voted to not do it? I'm not getting political, I'm just subverting your expectations. You know how it is. That being said, now, she's 4, and she can actually, like, tell jokes. Like, she can be like, knock, knock. Who's there? I farted. And I'm like, that's great. That's like Malf's level of humor. No wonder he's such a good uncle that I aspire to be. He's got the same level of comedic discourse. What? Okay. Dude, we don't have to use the shovel twice here, right? That's just that's a strange situation. So now, like, you know, the 8-year-old, she was, you know, climbing up in and around my dinner seating, and she was going, do you have ear hair? And I said, yeah. And she said, why do you have ear hair and no head hair? And I said, nature played a joke on me, and she laughed. Last year, that joke would have gotten no play. She would be like, huh. This year, she was like, I don't think I really get it, but I know that it's supposed to be funny because other people are laughing. So I'm gonna laugh too. And I'm like, this feels awesome. But also, it's supposed to be my day off. So if you could just not ask me to be funny, why don't you just ask me not to breathe? Where am I going? No, this time I mean physically on the floor, not commentarily speaking. We gave up Undefined in order to hold Book of Shadows, much more valuable for the Mega Satan fight. I do still feel the need to point out, as cursed as this run has been from a variety of different standpoints, we do also still have 2.67 damage, so like, you know, as a result of not being in the Whore of Babylon state, I should say. So like, I'm not really feeling like super jazzed about it, and normally we would probably do this entire floor, and it's wise to do it, but we're not going to do the entire floor because we're probably going to lose more points. This is not me making something up, by the way. Oh, I love the poison damage we got here. This is not me making something up for, like, you know, self-serving purposes. Like, I want to finish the run quickly, so I'm not going to do, you know, XYZ. I genuinely think we're going to get hit enough to make it unjustifiable for us to do all these rooms to try to get the exploration bonus. So we'll just go fight Mega Satan and be on our merry way. You're getting close. Anyway, do you prefer to be the host or the hostee? It's totally not a question that the algorithm has incentivized me to ask you in order to push this video up in some kind of nebulous ranking somewhere. Located in, you know, as a derived piece of secondary data from a NoSQL database. Located in Mendocino, California. Not a troubling thought whatsoever. I still prefer to be the hostee, though. You always end up... I'll tell you a story. It's a little bit of a sensitive one. Not for me, which is why I feel the need to... or why I feel okay about saying it, I suppose. We used to host social get-togethers, soirees, at our large university house that we rented. There were no frats, but I don't know. We were... I don't want to say we were an informal frat, because I hope it didn't come with the same kind of culture and toxicity that fraternities come with in movies such as The House of Animals, but either way, it was a meeting place, and we would hold these, you know, events that people would get pretty drunk at, for need of a better word, and you know, lots of times, especially the first couple hours, people were like, "You guys are great hosts," and we're like, "Thank you." And then, as people started to get sloppy, we were like, "This sucks." One time, I found an acquaintance of ours, and he was crying in my bedroom. You know, it was like a 6-bedroom slum house, basically. But he was crying in my bedroom, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Also, why are you in my bedroom crying it up? Like, don't take this the wrong way, but this is kind of like my sanctuary. I understand you needed some privacy, but, you know, it's a little bit messed up to just go have your emotional moment in somebody else's bedroom. Why don't you just do it on the toilet like everybody else?" Anyway, he confided to me. I don't need to give you the basics of it because they're irrelevant. It was a love lost or an unrequited love situation, as is common at that age, you know. But the thing that cheesed me off the most, and I have sensitivity for this friend to some extent, even though I thought he was being silly at the time, and I told him as much while still hopefully being helpful. He also, I kept a stash of snacks in my room, because anybody who's lived in like a collegiate house knows that snacks are like, you know, they only exist as long as everybody's got respect for one another, and once you start maybe drinking, you go, just eat his chips, we'll pay him back later. Maybe later I'm gonna want the chips, and I'm not gonna go to the grocery store. Anyway, you get the idea. The dude was eating my potato chips in my bedroom at an event that we were throwing. That wasn't on the rider that we sent out on Facebook. Yo, I was gonna say, I'm not fighting delirium. In the end, this run went okay. What? How on earth are we 91st? And time 58th? I guess this run was just garbage. Somehow we ended up with a decent score. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Follow me on Twitch to be notified when I go live in the future. Twitch.tv/Northernlion. And I'll see you next time. See ya.